Hello again, friends. Joe here once again. It is the last day of the month. That means it is Legfest, which means it is time for some new characters. We did just have, we are having an event, Ramen Travels with Cassius. Unlike most events, this one didn't actually have any scripted battles in it to kind of tease what the new units were going to be, so we can't really go by that, but Cassius, Ipatsu and Lilel all had new outfits, which weren't just completely new outfits that weren't just edits of previous sprites. The Ramen Musketeers, the boss of the event, they also had I think they were unique designs. So they're also all four of them are a possibility that we might see. I would like a Cassius ult, if I'm being honest. I do like Cassius. He's a pretty cool character. He is a good boy. But let's go see what we're getting. Okay. He was not in the event, but okay. So Wellness Arts are second. Technically third Six Dragons character if you're counting Cat. Here we are. Okay. Lilel, okay. Also in fire. And Ipatsu, okay, cool. That is cool. Let's see who else is on rate up. And Noah's on rate up, okay. Right then. Let's take a look at the weapons first, as we usually do. Take a look at Willness's weapon, the new grand weapon. It's an axe. Unworldly fire damage to foe, burn effect to MC. Big supplemental boost to fire allies CA damage, medium boost to fire allies attack and max HP. I mean, I might see use. I mean, this, as far as I know, doesn't exist in fire before now. So this could see some use. Thing is, fire is not really it's not really that much of an Ogi element, really. So remains to be seen if this will be seen any use or not. It looks, I'm going to say that this looks niche at best. Lilel's weapon, big stamina. That's it. Okay, I mean, Exabas exist. I don't know why you would... I'm not sure why you would build a Primal Fire Grid and use this over an Exaba. Maybe it'll get, maybe it'll get an FLB in the future and it'll get another skill, but for now, whatever. And then Dark Spear, medium attack and crit, and slight chance to kind of dodge and counter. Okay, so that's whatever. Okay, so weapons are altogether not super great. Let's go the opposite direction and we'll say Willness for last. Let's look at Ipatsu first. So he is dark. His charge attack is a massive dark damage to a foe. Lower Ipatsu's craving intensity by 5. 1 turn cut to skill cooldowns. Cool. 30% boost to dark allies charge bars. Boost to CA specs 1 time. 4 turns cooldown. Plus it gets cut by a further one then. So that's... I mean, obviously you need to see what these numbers are, but... That seems pretty good. This has really high uptime, so that's pretty good. Dark damage to all foes will remove 1 buff. Okay. That's just 1 hit, so that's unfortunate considering the state of Dark right now. Dark damage to foe delay effect. Okay, same again. These have again pretty short cooldowns though, so that's cool. Support skills, deal triple attacks, nice. Increase craving intensity by 1 upon using skills or normal attacks. Max 7. If at end of turn craving has reached max, it can't attack or cast skills and hit to do defense. 5% boost to charge bar on multi-attacks. Okay, so yeah, that stat goes down by 5 when you Ogi. So basically if you hit 7, then he can't do anything. You basically just have to use death on him and kill him off. That's interesting. I mean, he's a pretty simple character by the looks of it. He's just buffs the rest of your allies, charge bar and Ogies, and then just does some single hit damage skills with a dispel and a delay, which is all have pretty short cooldowns. I'm going to assume that since these are already pretty low, these are not going to lower down to 3 when you level him up. But that said, 4 is a pretty short starting cooldown, and plus these will lower by 1 pretty every time you Ogi, so these will be pretty high uptime. But that said, like, he's not like outrageous. Like if I don't know if you've been paying attention to the kind of stuff that Dark has been getting lately, namely the last 2 grands. I think this is a character that I don't think is going to see much of a spot if you unless you just don't have a particularly filled out Dark roster. Like if you're a new player or whatever, you'd use him. But I'm guessing, like, unless you're just like super desperate for a dispel and a delay on like a pretty short cooldown, like I don't think you're going to see much use of him. Like if you have Lich, like you don't like she delays on Ogi, so it's not like that. Dispels. I'm trying to remember sources of dispels. Vakala, I think, does a lot of dispels, if I mind right. I don't have her. She's one of the only Zodiacs I don't have. But even like regular Cassius that we got from the last anniversary event can do a lot of dispels as well. So I don't know if this. Yeah, not super great. Like he's not terrible. Like I think like he's fine. He's fine. He is a perfectly serviceable character who just is unfortunately in Dark. so yeah. Let's take a look at Lil, who is in Fire. Massive fire damage to foe, charm effect, a 20% wind damage cut to all allies. Interesting. Skill 1, boost to all allies hype and charge bar, increase effect rate of boosted charge bar based on caster's hype. Huh, okay. Not seen that before, so more charge bar the higher her hype is. Interesting. Skill 2, shield effect off to fire allies, dispel cancel effect 1 time. Nice. Boosted shield specs based on caster's hype. Okay. Restore all allies HP and remove 1 debuff. Okay. Heal and cleanse. Boost the charge bar at end of turn based on the Lil's hype. 5% per level, max 20%. Activate Sway Your Heart when hype is 4. Boost all allies CA specs based on their hype. Okay. Interesting that... I mean, we haven't looked at Wilness yet, so we don't know what he's like, but his weapon was based around Ogi's. And she seems... I say she's an Ogi character, but she's not like she's doing like crazy damage on her Ogi or anything, but she does have this, and she hypes, which is hype normal mod? I don't remember, but high hype is a pretty chunky attack boost, and obviously don't know what these numbers are. I was gonna say maybe it's 10% per level of hype, so that would be 40% at level 4 hype. I don't know if that's maybe, I don't know, 40% is maybe a bit too high, maybe that's a bit too, but maybe it's similar to this where it's 5% per level, so that would be 20% at level 4 hype, who can say. Dispel cancel is always nice, shield effect, don't know what these numbers are. I'm assuming not going to be too high, maybe like 1,000 or maybe 1,500 per level of hype, who can say. And like heal and cleanse is fine. This is probably not a massive heal, especially since it can be auto activated, so yeah, nothing special. But she is quite cute. If you have Christmas Nemone, like, I don't think you'd ever use her. I mean, that's kind of the thing that like a lot of permanent gacha characters have to kind of contend with these days, is that there is just, because this game has been running so long now, there's just so many like limited characters that have just absolutely bonkers kits that like basically every like new permanent gacha character just becomes like a weakened version of a seasonal character that you'd only run if you don't already have the seasonal character. Like I feel like nobody who has Christmas Nemone, including myself, would run Fire Lilel if they had her. Actually, again, like she's fine. Like I feel like I say this a lot. Like she's fine. She's not terrible, but she's not great. Again, she's the kind of character that you'd only really run if you really needed this healing, and you don't really have anything else that you can use. Like the hype is nice, but it's on a pretty lowish uptime. Like this is probably going to go down to 7 turns, and it's only active for 3 turns, so that's 4 turns downtime. I don't know, maybe these numbers are crazy. I doubt it, but maybe they are. That would help to make up for that. But yeah, otherwise honestly not super impressive, I'll be honest. Anyway, the big one, Big Daddy Wellness. Let's see what he's up to. Charge attack, Magma Chamber. Unworldly, fire damage to a foe. Nice. Deal triple attacks while in effect. So I'm guessing he gets guaranteed triples after the turn after his Ogi. Okay. Skill 1, 1200% fire damage to all foes. Remove 1 buff effect. That's a massive cooldown. Okay. Skill 2, 800% fire damage to foe. Blistering Flames effect to cast a 20% boost to charge bar. Attack is boosted by Blistering Frames. Why do I keep saying frames? Flames. Can't be removed. Can't be extended. Is that an assassin? That vaguely sounds like an assassin buff. Let's see. It's also reasonably high. Right on time. The Vermilion's Glare effect the caster can't recast. Defense is boosted. Takes no debuffs. More likely to be attacked. Hadron Smash activates upon using charge attack, which is his first one. Okay, support skills. Doesn't deal multi-attacks. Okay. No charge bar gain upon normal attacks. Amplify normal attack damage. Counters upon taking damage 1 hit. Activate Flame Claw after normal attack. Okay. So, this is similar to like Isaac, Christmas Meteon, and Yukata Izmir, I'm guessing, where doesn't multi-attack but activates this after the attack, which will boost charge bar. Remains to be seen if this can be affected by like buffs. Like, will Alanan override this and let him triple attack all the time? Who can say? Although, so he only gets triple attacks after his Ogi, which is interesting. No charge bar gain for normal attacks. I don't remember if those 3 characters I just mentioned were similar, but like I said, that's not a huge deal because you'll get 20% every turn anyway from this. Amplified normal attack damage. I'm going to assume that's probably a pretty high. I'm going to assume that's... I don't remember the number because, like I said, Meteon, Izmir, and Isaac has... I think they had this as well. Pretty sure Meteon did. I don't remember the numbers. I'm going to assume this is probably at least 30%. I'm going to say it's kind of unfortunate that these aren't multi-attacks, considering like Fire's 2 like premier attackers right now. Actually, I say 2. There's like 3 characters that are good. You have Christmas Nemone, you have Athena, and then you have Summer Kumira, who are all just skill damage out the wazoo multi-hits. Especially if you're running vertexes. So it's a shame that these aren't multi-ticks, but I will say 12,000% damage. That means that the cap on this is probably going to be pretty huge. So I'm going to assume that, assuming you're capping, this is probably going to hit for at least like 2.5 million, maybe even 3 million. Similar to this is 800% is also relatively high. This is probably going to at least hit for at least 1 million, maybe 1.5. So like, especially this does every turn after you normal attack. This does every time after you Ogi. So that's pretty nice. But like I said, yeah, it's a shame it's not multi attacks, but they have like, these percentages are pretty high, which usually also means that their caps are pretty high. So these probably hit pretty hard. Also, his last support skill. Upon activating a Fated Chain, instant CA standby to wellness, boost the CA specs. Cool, okay. So similar to Fedio, he has a support skill that gives him a thing when you do a Fated Chain in V2 fights. He seems fun. Like, obviously I would need to like really see him in action to see how much damage he can really dish out. I really want to know if this can be like overridden with, like I said, stuff like Alanan, like guaranteed multi-attack, guaranteed triple attack buffs, if they will work on this, or if it is just straight up he can only do triple attacks after his Ogi. Because if that is the case, you can only do them after his Ogi, that's unfortunate. But having said that, if these skills will be hitting as hard as I think they're going to, like it'll probably mostly make up for not being able to deal multi attacks. I'm also curious about this, if this is an assassin buff. It's either an assassin buff or it's a pretty chunky normal mod. I'm going to assume if it is an assassin buff, it's probably not super high. It's probably like maybe similar in range to like Gran Maya's assassin buff, which is like, I want to say 50%, which is compared to stuff like Esser's assassin buff, also in Fire, is like what, 180% or something. So if it is a pretty low one, it means you want like you need a pretty strong grid to be able to properly cap it, but it's still good to have. But it also means that it will be up permanently as well, because if he does this after normal attacks and it has 2 turns, like, yeah, so I'm assuming this is an assassin buff because this wording makes it sound like it is, kind of. It's pretty sure this is similar wording to other like unique assassin buffs like Nirmaya's and whatnot, so it's probably not super high, but the fact that it's up permanently, I'm going to say I don't think he is like the crazy, amazing Fire Grand that, let's be honest, Fire needs, because honestly the state of Fire right now is kind of awful. Like, Fire is the worst element in the game currently. Like, I don't think that's a particularly hot take. Like, all of their Grands are, like, at best, like, super, like, situational and niche. Not necessarily bad, but nothing, like, on the level of like that Dark gets, that Gran Maya was in Wind, that like Poseidon was in Water, or like the fucking myriad of seasonals that Earth has. Like, all of their Grands are just kind of underwhelming, and I don't think Willness really changes that much. But I could be wrong. He does seem decent. Like, he seems like he can dish out a lot of damage. He's a fairly selfish attacker, and he seems like he put out decent damage, and he looks pretty fun, just like the way his stuff works. Like, I think this sort of stuff, like the Christmas Meteon passive, is a pretty fun passive, especially if you can deal multi attacks. You just do normal attacks and then just there's a big nuke afterwards. Same with like Isaac and Yukata Izmir. Like, I think those kind of characters are just fun to watch attack. And plus he has a lot, like, he has auto nukes for days, every turn, literally, because after Ogi and after that. And like I said, these are probably, it is a shame that these aren't multi-hits because of how Fire's skill damage meta. Is it meta? Kind of. At least in full auto. It's a shame they're not multi-hits and just one hit, but like I said, if these are any indication, these are pretty fat hits, so they can't fully take advantage of like supplemental, but hopefully it's not that much of a downgrade. But yeah, he seems good. He seems decent. Like, he's not a 10 out of 10. He's not Fedio, that's for sure. Like, because the dark bias is real, and I think people are maybe going to be disappointed if they're going to think that all of the rest of the 6 dragons, assuming they're all Grands, are going to be on the level of Fedio, because I don't think they will be. But he doesn't seem bad. Like I said, I don't think he's the savior of Fire, not by a long shot, but he doesn't look bad, and he looks fun as well, so That's cool. But anyway, that's that. So until next time, peace out.